So a lot of you have been asking for a paper residency in the EU and you don't want to spend too much money. In this video, I'm going to discuss the cheapest and the fastest and the easiest EU paper residency that you can add to any passport. Exceedingly, it's less about the strength of the passport because of the ETIAS system by the EU. It's becoming harder and harder to sustain any visa-free access. Now, a lot of passports have been terminated or revoked for the visa-free access to the EU, and even on some of the stronger passports like the American passport or the Canadian passport or any passport for that matter, now there's an electronic approval that you need to get. And in order to just get rid of all this hassle, you want to add a paper residency to the EU, and it's worth its weight in gold in 2026. And I say this because once you have that paper residency, you don't have to physically move to the EU, you don't have to physically live in the EU, you don't have to satisfy any minimum physical presence. Without doing any of that, without even traveling to the EU, you can maintain your paper residency status. And as I said, you can attach this to any passport. I'm going to discuss this option in the second half of the video. But before that, there's a secondary request that I'm seeing crop up quite often. And there's a section of people who, let's say, you don't have too much money for your Plan B security or your Plan B insurance. Then you would simply get the paper residency on your home country passport. I'm going to discuss this entire program. But before that, it's very important to understand, is there any other option? Is there any other option where you can get a secondary passport and attach the paper residency on that secondary passport for added security? Yes, there is. There are a couple of programs, in fact, that I would highly recommend. And none of this is immigration, legal, or tax advice. This is just my personal opinion. If you're looking to start any of these programs, including the paper residency that I'm talking about in this video, you can click the link, book a call, you can have a quick chat and get you started with any of the programs. Now, the two passports that I think are worth taking a look at, the first one is Nauru. And the reason why I'm saying Nauru is because it has visa-free access to some substantial countries. And the list includes Hong Kong, Malaysia. Now, Malaysia has an MM2H, so you can add that. Interestingly, Nauru is the only citizenship, is the only second citizenship that has access to the UAE. So let's say you want to do a Dubai golden visa, you just don't want to do it yet. If you get the Nauru passport, you can simply land in UAE and you can then from inside start your golden visa. If you look at any of the Caribbean passports, it does not have access to visa free. So let's say you are already physically in the UAE and you have a very poor home country passport, or for some reason you want to get rid of your home country passport for privacy and security, you can easily add the Nauru citizenship. You can enter back to the UAE visa free and then you can strike your golden visa. The golden visa is at a heavy discount because of what's happening in the UAE. So Nauru is an interesting passport. Now, apart from UAE, you can also add the paper EU golden visa on that Nauru passport. The other passport that is worth mentioning is the Sao Tome and Principe. Now, why would you get Sao Tome versus Nauru? Which one is the better one? Now, the clear answer to this question is if you are in the UAE and if you intend to keep the UAE golden visa, or if that's the location that you plan to live long term, then I would say definitely Nauru makes a lot of sense. It's a much stronger passport. The price point is exactly the same. Nauru is 90k, add some fees and you're talking about 105, 110. Sao Tome and Principe is 105, add some fees, you're talking about 110. So smack bang, they're same price. Which one is better? For people in Dubai, I would say Nauru is better. For people who are looking to have a long-term potential shortcut to an EU citizenship, then the Sao Tome and Principe might be an interesting choice. Now, as of today, Portugal has not made any distinction. It hasn't come back saying, it hasn't, discouraged a CBI passport for that CPLP early naturalization. What is the whole matter, right? The whole matter is, if you have a CPLP citizenship, then you can naturalize 3 years earlier in Portugal. So normally the standard naturalization route takes close to 10 years or more. But if you have a CPLP nationality, then it's 7 years as per the new rules. So you have a potential outside shortcut. In future, we don't know, right? In future, Portugal might come swinging back saying, hey, the purchased passports don't qualify. Then, of course, it would not work for. But as of today, there's a real chance that you could use that and try and see if you can reduce the 3 years. So if EU is your future plan, if a citizenship from Portugal is your future plan, if you in future intend to add the Portugal golden visa to your portfolio, then the CPLP might make slightly more sense. But if not, if you're not looking at Portugal, then Nauru is the better CBI passport to purchase. Now, what is the paper e-residency? Now, before I jump to the paper e-residency, if you like this content, if you think that this channel adds any value, please go ahead and turn on that subscription. If you are subscribed to this channel, I promise you the moment there's any change, any new program, any new citizenship, any new residency, you would be the first one to be notified. All right, so the paper residency, the cost is 10,000 euros of donation to the government. It's a state fee. They don't call it donation, it's a state fee. So you lose the 10,000 euros. That's a one-time cost. You don't have to keep paying this again and again. But once you pay that, then you're talking about a secondary investment, which is 50,000 euros. And that 50,000 euros, you have a couple of options. Either park that in your own company or park that in an existing company that has a performance. A lot of people are curious or worried, saying, hey, I don't mind putting in the 50K, but what is the assurance? What is the guarantee? How do I know my capital is secure? Am I going to recoup the 50K? Is it going to be lost? What if the company goes bankrupt? That's an excellent question. The short answer to that is there are 5 or 6 companies that we work with. You can work with your own company. The point is, since the last 10 years, you want to monitor how that company is performing. What are the contractual violations, if any? If there are no contractual violations in the last 10 years, if the company is in good standing, it's registered with all the relevant authorities, its performance has been consistently good, then you know that the company is stable, the company honors its contracts, there's a legal contract between you and that company, so you know you're going to easily recoup the 50,000 euros. If you lock that capital for 5 years, you can also potentially get a return of 2% per annum, and that offsets some of the costs of that golden visa. The 10K that you're donating, you can recoup some of those monies. But let's say you don't want the 5-year agreement, you want to keep this engagement open, then you simply put the 50K euros. The day you don't want the 50K euros, you can cancel the golden visa and get your money back. You lose the 10K, but you get back the 50K euros. The second option, as I said, is put that money in your own company, start your own company in Latvia. But that requires obviously maintenance overhead of running the company, or at least filing the paperwork for that company. It cannot be just a paper company. It has to pay taxes, right, over a certain threshold. So a lot of people, 99% of the people who want to do this paper residency usually would put the 50K with an existing company, and that way they get the paper residency. No residency visas required. If you have a visa free on your passport, simply enter Latvia, and from inside Latvia, in 15 days to 20 days, we specialize. We expedite the whole process. As an expedite fee that you pay to the government. In 15 to 20 days, you can get a quick result. You can get your card, and then you can leave. What is the con? The big con of this is you got to renew this every year. So at least for 1 day in a year, you got to enter Latvia, but that's about it. keep renewing this every year, and you have a clear paper path to the EU. Now, if you want to naturalize in the EU, you have a couple of options. Can you naturalize in Latvia? The short answer is yes, they allow naturalization, but it's tough because the Latvian language is not the easiest one. It's not that useful. Once you learn the Latvian language, the basic language for citizenship, it's only good for Latvia. It's not going to work outside. So it's a waste of a language if you're not planning to settle in Latvia long term. So that's a slight bit of a disadvantage if you're looking for the citizenship in Latvia. And then obviously you got to have more physical presence. The paper residency is not going to work from a physical presence perspective for the citizenship, but for residency maintenance, of course, that works. But as I said, if you're looking for citizenship, then the couple of quick strategies that you can deploy is then you, in future, let's say you add a Portuguese golden visa, and that's a paper path to Portuguese citizenship, at least as of today. And then you add, the CPLP citizenship if you're interested in gaining early naturalization from Portugal. And with this combination of the CPLP passport and the Portuguese golden visa, you can potentially naturalize in Portugal in 7 years. So in the interim, do you have a full EU access and unrestricted, no questions asked access? Yes, you can strike that on the Nauru passport or the CPLP passport. You can add that and you can get that access. And for future EU citizenship, you can look at the Portuguese option and the Portuguese potential shortcut. And as I said, at any point in time you are interested in striking any of these options, we specialized and we expedite these options as much as we can. We have teams on the ground who support this end to end. You can always reach us and we can get you started. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.